So hello guys and welcome back to the channel. Now today we're out doing a bit of barbel fishing, but it's not like the usual barbel fishing sessions I do. I'm going to be filming a lot of them underwater to see, one, if we can look at how they feed, and two, to hopefully get a take caught on camera as well. Now I have filmed loads of underwater barbel videos in the past, and it seems like a lot of the new subscribers don't realise, because I've had a lot of requests for underwater barbel fishing. So all the videos I've already filmed I'll link down in the description below, or rather some of my favourites that I've filmed in the past. But I haven't filmed them in properly for about 2 or 3 years. And that's because they don't really perform very well, underwater barbel videos, I'm afraid. In fact, they're probably some of my worst performing videos on my channel. So my original aim this session was going to be to use different styles of feeder, like method feeder, pellet feeder, cage feeder that we all know and use, and just see how the barbel will react to each different feeder type to see if you could indeed catch a barbel on like a pellet feeder or a method feeder. And I'm going to show you the footage right now. This was the first feeder I decided to use of the session. It was a pellet feeder filled with 2mm micros and an 8mm pellet hair rigged onto the hook. It didn't take long to get some action, but as you could see there, obviously a short hook length to a semi-fixed rig being the pellet feeder. Didn't get the hook up, the fish didn't get hooked up. Obviously the tried and tested method of fishing long hook lengths, cage feeders, bombs, running rigs has been used for decades, and obviously it is the go-to method for catching barbel. So I decided, instead of messing around and using different styles of feeder, I'm just going to fish like I would normally. I'm just going to fish a free running lead, 1 ounce, 2 to 3 foot hook length. I'm going to be fishing worms on the hook, feeding probably a mix of pellets and caster, and we're going to see what we can catch. Hopefully get some good footage, and hopefully put a few fish on the bank as well. Well, chub wasn't exactly on the list of species I wanted to catch today, so I didn't even get that fish out of the water really, just knocked it in the net, placed it back in, let it go, and I think it's now time to show you my setup, because I've got a feeling we're going to catch a barbel very, very soon. So the setup that I'm using is a little bit heavier to what I would normally use on the river, because normally when I'm fishing I'm targeting barbel and chub. Since I'm underwater filming, I want to be able to hook the barbel and land him really, really quickly to be able to not spook the rest of the fish in the swim that I'm trying to film. So the setup that I'm using is a Shakespeare SKP Concept Specialist 1.25 pound test, and I've been using this rod actually on the Forgotten Ponds to try and tame them carp. So I've been using it, it's got loads of backbone to it to enable me to pull the fish out of the swim quickly. The reel on there is a Shakespeare Challenge XT, and the tail end of the rig is so simple. I've just got a free running lead on a quick change clip, so I can change between either lead or feeder or different sizes of leads, down to a buffer bead on a swivel to stop it from going down towards my hook. And I'm not even fishing a hair rig or anything like that, just super simple, a size 10 hook tied straight onto the end of that, which I've then been threading a big chunky lob worm onto, as you'll have seen on the underwater footage. What I've always found really interesting to see is watching these fish feed is probably one of the most entertaining fish species to actually watch, even more so than pike sometimes. You'll often find barbel that have white marks on sort of like the nose area or just above the mouth, and this is actually because when the barbel are feeding and grubbing around in the stones, they will actually use their nose to push around and move stones around on the bottom, which is why sometimes they'll get a bruise on the end of the nose where they're doing it. And this is why sometimes fishing over gravelly areas is really beneficial. Because if you're fishing on somewhere like sand, you'll see the pellets and all the baits you're putting will just roll over the sand with the current. Whereas when you're fishing gravel, the pellets will actually hold out in the grooves in the gravel and keep the barbel grubbing for longer. What I do find quite impressive is just how accurate they are in feeding on the bottom. As you see them pellets rolling past, you see the barbel target them as they're rolling past and picking them up, which just shows how effective rolling a bait can be. They don't want to miss the opportunity of that bait going past them, which is why I think rolling meat and rolling pellets, and sometimes I'll even drift worms, works really effectively for barbel. Oh, fish on. I was looking at the water watching him, seeing whereabouts they were in front of the camera. Just from the corner of my eye I saw that rod go flying over. I did see a fish shaking its head, but I thought it just got spooked. Just picked up the bait. Come on, boy. Yes, only a baby, but we got him. Oh, that fish was really nicely hooked right in the corner of the mouth. Then 9 times out of 10 they'll hook themselves as they're turning away from the bait. And that's why you hook them right in the corner. Barbel size 10s, absolutely wicked. I just hope that the camera underwater managed to capture that. Not the biggest fish in the world, but a beautiful little pristine barbel, tamed very nicely on the 1.25 setup. Right, let's get him back. Beautiful. Once again, like nearly all the barbel I catch, hooked right in the corner of the mouth. Awesome sport, and hopefully once again another take on camera, fingers crossed anyway. Right, let's get it back. Just on the phone to the girlfriend, discussing how long I was going to be, and hey presto, right when you don't want a fish to take your bait, Took it. Ooh. Bugger off nettles. Come on. Yes. Good. Biggest of the session. Oh, would you look at that? Absolutely beautiful, pristine barbel. Tamed nicely. That was just nailed on a worm. You can probably see it hanging off the side of its mouth. Gonna unhook it and rest it in a minute. It's probably a barbel of about £8. Absolutely beautiful. Don't think I captured it on the underwater camera, but that's good enough for me. Absolutely awesome. Well guys, in my videos I have a thing that I like to call a finale fish, and that is generally a fish that I try and target right at the end that is bigger than the others that I've caught in the video to end it on, and that's what we've just managed to do today. Just had a beautiful barbel, bigger than the first two I caught. It was a fish of probably about £8 or somewhere like that. Real hard fighting fish, really digging underneath the snags. And the main aim of today was to get underwater footage, and I know for a fact I've captured at least 1 or 2 takes on the underwater camera today, so I'm really looking forward to watching that back when I get home. Really good stuff. Had some cracking takes today where the rod almost got pulled into the water, but they was all tamed really well. If you want to check out that setup that I've used today, I'll leave it all down in the description below, and probably leave some of my luggage down there as well if you want to check it out. I'll also leave links to the previous underwater barbel videos I've done in the past, or at least some of my favourites where I've got some really cool footage. And thank you guys for watching. If you want to see more stuff like this, don't forget to subscribe. If you like the video, like it, and I'll catch you guys later.